meals right after we returned home from the hospital. Grandparents and family members, they helped with caring for and taking Christian to therapy and doctor's appointments. We are very fortunate to have the extended family who can jump into action as the need arises. We also had many school professionals that also were there for Christian also. But after the age of 21 years old, our children are no longer the responsibility of the school system. The young adults still have hopes and dreams that they want to realize. Where do we or where can we turn to? Families and individuals want to make specific choices for what meets their individual or family's needs. So fast forward to this present, Christian uses the Henry County Transportation Monday through Friday to attend Abilities Plus in the morning, and he's working on learning job skills in the workshop, and then he returns to Geneseo around 1 o'clock here at the community center. Maybe you've seen him around. He works with the staff as a volunteer, helping wash windows, vacuuming the gymnastic floor, and he even helped to fill potholes in the parking lot a few weeks ago. That was not his favorite job to do, they tell me. Andy Thurman, Scott Himmelman, and Chad, who work here, and previously Molly Hamer, they have all opened the doors to allow Christian the opportunity to be included and giving him self-worth. Christian loves his job. Christian has developed relationships that many adults with why can't I not say it? Developmental delays or other disabilities that they don't have the option to have because of some of the roadblocks, whether it's funding or placements. Our family is fortunate that after a few years of private paying for him to go to Abilities Plus, Christian now receives more state funding to pay for his attendance at Abilities Plus and to help with the transportation. Actually, it takes care of his attending Abilities Plus and the transportation to get there. We are now looking for personal support workers and job coaches to help Christian, to help him in this community here in Geneseo. And we have started to work on getting the specific goals that our family has set for Christian's future. We believe Christian is capable of having a paying part-time job as long as he has the support that he needs. We have been working to get Christian involved within our community here in Geneseo. We are now volunteering, and I say we, Christian and I go, volunteering at the Henry County Humane Society on Monday nights, working with the dogs and cats as needed. Christian has enjoyed getting together with his Maple Leaf friends, which you'll hear more about, monthly, as long as it doesn't interfere with his NASCAR qualifying trials or races. We look forward to creating a wider circle of friends to continue to enrich and provide Christian with the quality life that he and we all hope for and deserve. Thank you. And now I'll turn it over to Janet.
Okay, in keeping with the Kiwanis mission here about one child, right? Changing the world one child at a time. This is what one of our focuses is for Quality Lives Incorporated here in Geneseo. We started off as a grant program through the Illinois Council of Developmental Disabilities, and we have just within the last couple months become incorporated ourselves. Our mission statement may sound familiar to you. Quality Lives Incorporated celebrates and supports people of all abilities by building meaningful partnerships. We create opportunities and connections to enable individuals like Christian and Tyson and Kyle to contribute to and be valued by their communities. Now, we consider ourselves what we call a human services cooperative, and it's a nonprofit designed to assist people with disabilities in their home communities. We want to keep our citizens in their own home communities where they're surrounded by their families, friends, neighbors. Now, 80% of our board has to be either family members or young adults with developmental disabilities or on the autism spectrum. Tyson here is one of our board members. Raise your hand, Tyson. There you go. He's one of our board members. And our Human Services Cooperative gives people more control of the services intended to help them. We're gonna, in our own community, we know what our community has, the assets in Geneseo, and we want to make sure that we use those assets to include these young citizens. Now, we're a little bit different from a lot of organizations. That's why I say we're kind of, our organizational design is a little bit different. We start at the big top as direct support professionals. And this is where Jill was talking about using Christian's money that he gets from the state to hire their own workers to work with Christian. Not going through an agency necessarily, but to be able to hire somebody within their own community. Could be a family member, could be a neighbor. It could be someone else in the community to be a job coach, to be a personal support giver. And then also program support, and then we looked at the very bottom of business support. All right, so here's Christian, and Christian is standing in front of his path, and the path stands for Planning Alternative Tomorrows with Hope. And so there's Christian proudly with his path, and then here is his circle of support, and you can see Roger's in that picture there, and Jill and his aunts and grandma. And so Christian is the center of his support circle. Nothing is done without Christian's thumbs up. All right. Oh, and Christian's holding a laptop there. His sister Erica joined us through teleconference. So she was able, from North Carolina, to be part of his path. All right. Jill was talking about there's a gap here. Geneseo lies between two entities, Abilities Plus and Kiwanis, and the Arc of the Quad Cities, which is Rock Island County. Unfortunately, for many of our young adults, they have to travel either to Kiwanis or the Quad Cities. Henry County Transportation will not take them into Rock Island County. They would drop them off someplace in Kelowna and hope that somebody will pick them up there. So transportation is always an issue for us. And funding, as Jill said, no longer are some of our young adults being supported by grants from the state or the state paying for training or job opportunities for them. So it all comes down to private pay. Now, I love living in Geneseo. I've been a resident here for all of my 59 years. And one of the things I love about this community is how we embrace change and we embrace progress. And the motto for Geneseo, where the future grows. And we think this is a really prime place for something like Quality Lives to work in Geneseo. We have Kyle Van Duestein with us. Kyle, do you want to come up and do your... Kyle is one of my former students from the high school and is now out on his own. So Kyle has a few words he wants to say to you. Do you want me to hold it for you?
It's nice to be together, to get together with my friends I don't see them much now that we are out of school. We are going bowling and together and having pizza sometimes. Sorry, I just Yeah, kinda.
Yeah. This is new to you, yeah? You want to tell them where you work?
I work at Goodwill about 3 years right after high school. I met some good people there, and some of them used, or got out couple of college dropouts, and some of them in the workforce, and made a lot of good friends there. And I'm also part of the GNCO fire department, and part-time, and helping clean out. They're quite nice people, and help their community, stopping fires and accidents on the interstate, and believe me, helping their community.
Do you have anything else, Kyle?
Well, also, my friends in the GNCO friendship, and we have game nights and like wing games and pool and other games. We also have snacks and make snacks. And we also went to Smith Art Studios and made some nice craftsmanship. Art projects. Well, we are also going to bake cookies and decorate stuff and ice cream and at the, well, sell them at the, well, you know them, ice cream social club. Oh. I really like getting to see my friends again. I miss seeing them more. And I'll be honest, sometimes I get a little nervous when talking.
Don't worry about it.
You're doing a good job. Yes, tell them thank you.
You listen to my speech, and also you guys don't mind. I'm not much of a talker.
You did great.
Yeah.
Tell them thank you.
Thank you.
Great things about our community. Kyle, when he was still in high school, was invited to be a junior volunteer at the fire department, and he's continued that. Gosh, it's probably what, about 6-7 years now that you've been doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's wonderful. Okay, oh, and also Kyle realized one of his goals and has his driver's license, so he's able to drive himself to everything he wants to do, which gives him a new level of independence. Now I'm going to have Tyson talk after I finish. Okay, Tyson? Sure. All right, because I know you're a good talker here. So, all right. So this is Tyson Bedford, and we talk about community service and getting involved in the community. And Tyson, where is this picture taken at?
If I remember correctly, it's taken place at what's that place called?
Is it the Humane Society?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
that's what it is.
And again, one of the things, and Tyson will be telling you about this later, he is involved in advocacy training, and he goes down to Springfield through a program called Partners in Policy Making. He'll be telling you about that in a little bit. This is what Kyle was talking about, Maple Leaf Friends. This is a group that we started almost a year ago, and this is taken at Smith Art Studio, and Mr. Smith hosted our group here to do some artwork. They made clay boxes. And so the members for the Maple Leaf Club have to be 18 years of age or older. So we have about 12 to 13 young adults who attend every month. In community involvement, and this is where you come in. Now, can I see raise of hands? How many of you either have a family member or a neighbor who has a developmental disability? Okay, raise your hand. Okay, a good group here, because statistically showing we have a very large population. We don't know the exact numbers here in Geneseo who do fit under that intellectual disability category, and most of them are still living at home. They are still doing things with mom and dad, and our goal is to try to get them into the community to be productive citizens, volunteering at local sites, participating in community events. Kyle kind of talked about we're going to be hosting an ice cream social this summer. Working in local businesses, attending worship. Some of them go to your churches. And presenting at meetings like this and conferences. And Tyson will tell you a little bit more about that too when he comes up. I found this quote here by Michael Phelps that says, "There will be obstacles, there will be doubters, there will be mistakes, but with hard work, there are no limits." And that's what we want for the young adults in our community who struggle daily with being included in our community with work, jobs, and social situations. But as Jill said, the power of many. So we all come together, we all do what we can to help out these young adults to make a transition into the community. We talked about Christian's Path, planning alternatives for tomorrow with hope. We did an organizational map for Quality Lives, and it's actually pinned up on the bulletin board back there as well, so if you want to take a look at it. And this is one of the things that we do to, we use graphic organization, graphic facilitation, to make a picture of where we want to go and how we want to get there. Okay, Tyson, I'm going to turn it over to you, okay?
Sure.
All right. And this is Tyson Bedford.
Hello, everybody. How's everyone going tonight?
Okay,
Good.
you got about 5 minutes, buddy.
All right. Well, yeah, I'll try to be as fast as I can, but not too fast. So, I got started on this road to advocacy when I left the University of Iowa, more specifically the university's REACH program. Those people are another program that assists with education for people with disabilities. I got introduced to you actually much earlier than that. I believe it was during my junior years of high school, if I remember correctly, where I did a path of my own on what I wanted to do for my future, because after high school I really didn't know where my life was going to take me at all. So me and my family, we were struggling in that area, especially since I am also on the autism spectrum, so not a lot of options for somebody like me that are close by. So after the REACH program, I started looking for areas in Geneseo that would accommodate for people like me in the workplace. I discovered Geneseo's Geneseo Goodwill. It's close by to our fairway, that grocery store. I work there as a retail associate, so I'm pretty much the guy. Everything that you see out on Goodwill sales floor, I'm pretty much the guy that has put all that stuff there. So I'll just say this: I'm I'm proud of myself. I've come a long way since my days in high school, since my days at the University of Iowa, and I really gotta thank everybody that I've met along the way that has assisted me, or rather, has really given me the confidence to seek things out on my own finally and be able to make dreams of my own come true. Speaking of which, I'm currently working on getting a greenhouse set up in my own backyard. I'm hoping one day actually that it'll turn into something bigger. I'm hoping at least it will turn into a self-employment line of work. Yeah, I surprise myself even with the progress that I've made. I still can't believe that I attend these things as well. 'Cause let me just say this: even though, as you see here, I'm good with speaking to audiences through a microphone, I am nowhere near good at introducing myself to new people face to face. So that I definitely gotta work on still. But yeah, all in all, I'm really grateful for all the achievements that I've been able to successfully give myself. Thank you very much.
Okay, and I'm just going to brag a little bit also on Tyson. I said earlier he's part of Partners in Policy Making, and it's down in Springfield, and they do work on policies statewide for people with developmental disabilities to try to advocate and try to get them more education funding and other opportunities. So he's very humble about that, but he spends several weekends, a month down there learning about our state legislator and how things work. So we're really proud of him. And Tyson's also working on getting his driver's license too, now that the weather's nicer, right, Tyson?
Yeah.
Yes. So anyway, so I do want to thank you for listening to our program. Quality Lives Inc. will be being more out in the public now that we're incorporated, and we're going to be doing more things to make ourselves known. I do have some cards here that, do you guys want to pass these out for me? Kyle, do you want to take the big ones here? You take those. I'm just going to give you my cards, and if you don't need them, if you know, would you pass this out for me, Tyson? Thanks. If you don't need it, maybe there's someone that you know, or a neighbor, or someone in your church who has an individual, and it doesn't have to be a young adult. It could either be somebody in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, or whatever, because we want to be able to reach out to as many people as we can in our community. We sometimes don't know who's here because they don't get out and they don't participate in some of the things that we do. So we're looking for community involvement, community support, and supporting the families so they don't have to do all this on their own, because it's a difficult time for everybody. So thank you so much for allowing me to come again and share another passion of mine with you. Jill, did you want to have anything else to say? Or?
I was just going to say, does anybody have any questions that we can answer?
Are there any questions?